All right, so you're managing multiple events for your business or for another business. What are the best ways for you to organize your day so you know exactly what you're doing? Hi, my name is William Morin. I am a chef of 15 plus years experience in the hospitality industry. I've managed and operated a la carte and catering operations upwards of $10 million a year in revenue, and I'm a CIA graduate, and I help young aspiring chefs start and build their catering businesses. If you want to get up to speed on all the information I've provided thus far, you check my must-watch playlist in my playlist section, or you click the link in the description and go to my website and read more about it. So you have multiple events for the day, and you want a better way to organize yourself, to better prepare, to staff, to order, to prepare, and to execute all of these banquet and catering events. And there's two main ways that I organize my events. And the first way is to take all of your BEOs, or banquet event orders, for the day or for the week, and purchase yourself a large whiteboard, either on wheels so it can be carted around your facility, or one in a common area where everyone is preparing for the event so everyone can look at the whiteboard. And what you put on the whiteboard is, this is how I organize it, right? So I have 4 columns going from left to right. I use black marker to mark these columns. The first column would say time. It would be the time of delivery or the time of service of the event. So the first column is time. The second column is the place. That could be the address or the room, or wherever. It could be the address or the room of where the event is taking place, or it could be, instead of place, it could be the name on the event. What's the party's name? Who's this party for? The third column, right? So we have the first column is the time of service of the event. The second column is the place of the event. The third column is very easy. The third column is the guest count, or the quantity of the event. 50-person catering event, put the 50. Or if it's by quantity, you could put, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5 trays of this, trays of that. And then the fourth column, which ends up being the largest column, right? So first column is time of the event. Second column is place of the event. Third column is the number of guests for the event. Those are very small columns. The rest of this giant whiteboard you use is for this fourth column, and I just call it the description. And here is where I'd write out, item by item, everything that the guest is getting for this event. So if they're getting a continental breakfast on the menu, I wouldn't write continental on the whiteboard. What I would write is assorted muffins, assorted pastries, coffee, tea, water, juice, fresh fruit. And I'd write that out in long form so everyone in the kitchen understands, even if they don't know what the menu item is, or what the menu item entails. They don't need to, because you wrote out every item that's going to be offered for that meal period. And let's say that you're catering an event that's getting breakfast and lunch, right? So your first row, right, we were talking about columns from left to right. The columns are time, place, number, description. And then the rows going from left to right would be each meal period for the event, either for the day or for the week. So the first meal period might be a 7 o'clock a.m. breakfast, continental, and you write down, everything that's going in the continental. And then they might have another meal period later on in the day for lunch, let's say, for like 11:30. And so that would be another row on your whiteboard. And you could see, you could get your entire day's worth of events in one visual representation on this whiteboard that you and everyone on your team can look at for a quick reference on what they need to be doing for the day. On less busier days, if you're not that type of business that has 20 events going in the same day, then you're the type that has 20 events going in the same week, or 10 events going in the same week. You can get the entire week on that whiteboard and just separate out your rows from Monday down to Tuesday, down to Wednesday, so on and so forth. So you can get an entire week's worth of events written on the board in long form of everything that you're going to be preparing and serving to each group. And once you can see the benefit of this, you could, you're thinking about how much you need to order for the week's worth of events. So you can look at your whiteboard with your clipboard and your order guide, and you can start putting together prep lists. You could start putting together your orders without flipping through a whole bunch of BEOs on a clipboard or on a computer. So that's the first way. That's my favorite way to organize catering for the day or for the week. The second I've taken from the what's that book? Leadership Lessons from a Chef. So the author of that book, Leadership Lessons for a Chef, gave me this great idea. So if you have a lot of events on the same day and you're managing the facility or you're managing the events, or this is for your business, all of the BEOs that you have for the event, make sure you make copies for yourself. And you keep those copies on you so you can always pull them out and refer to them throughout the day. Preferably trying to make them a smaller format so they're like sort of like a little pocket-sized version of the BEO with just the information that's really pertinent to what you need to be managing, whether that be staff, preparation, ordering, and execution. You decide. So that's the second method, keeping copies of the BEOs, small versions of the BEOs for that day on your person so you can keep them in your pocket and always pull them out and reference them throughout the day. Another good thing about this is that if you're the manager of the operation, you're the owner of the operation, you could take your copies of the BEOs and you have them, a week out, 2 weeks out in advance, and you know what your events are going to be for 2 weeks, and things are changing, and you're adding notes to your BEOs and things that'll be helpful in the future, like special guest requirements or changes that happen as you go, without going through the procedure of going online or going onto your computer and changing these BEOs manually each time there's a change. As the operating manager, you can just make copies of the BEOs that you've been marking up, and you can post them in that general area where everyone sort of sees the BEOs for the day. So everyone on your team is on the same page as you. Even though you didn't sit down and edit the BEOs moving up to the event, at least you've had time to put your notes on them so everyone knows what you're thinking and they can at least have some idea of the direction you're going. So those are the two ways that I organize a busy day or a busy week's worth of events. If you want to learn more, you get up to speed, you go into my playlist and watch the videos there, and I promise you'll be fully up to speed on everything that I teach, especially when it comes to pricing and costing events and selling events, especially if you're just starting out. I'll see you next time.